Well, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Paul Washington. I'm the Executive Director of the Denver Office of Economic Development. Of course, affordable housing plays a huge role in the city's approach to economic development, and the Office of Economic Development invests, leverages, and supports not only the people and the businesses, but of course the housing initiatives in Denver. We are extremely proud to have invested almost $1 million in this particular project. There are really three things I'm most excited about. First is that this is a mixed income project. It ranges from 30% AMI to 60% AMI. Secondly, we are in one of the most desirable spots for affordable housing, right in the center of the Central Business District, one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire country. And third, and probably most importantly, this affords me the opportunity to recognize some of my colleagues. Of course, Rick Padilla, our housing director, Doug Selby, our housing manager, but I want to give a particular shout out to Julianne Stern, one of our newest employees who has worked very hard, very diligently to get us to where we are today. So Julie, thank you so much for your dedication. And now for more on today's housing news, I'd like to introduce, and I'm honored to introduce, frankly, Denver Mayor Michael B. Hancock.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul, and let me thank all of you for being here as well. You know, there would be many people as we started this process that said bringing affordable housing down into the Union Station area could not be done. But we are here to prove them wrong. And today we have a development here which will provide 107 units, 70% of which will be designated for affordable housing. That's some good news. Yeah? And I want you to know something very important. This could not have been done without the continued insistence of a couple of members of our Denver City Council who are here today. And I want to make sure that publicly we celebrate those City Council members, namely Councilwoman Robin Kanish and Councilman Albus Brooks, who worked very hard on this project. Ashley Union Station apartments will provide, I think, a tremendous advantage for those who will live here. You're a snowball's throw away from Union Station. You're in the heart of our downtown, and you'll get a chance to experience the vibrancy and the growth and dynamics of this area. And so I want to thank all of the partners, as Paul has laid them out, for making this happen. We could not have done this, for example, without Denver Housing Authority. We could not have done it without Colorado Division of Housing. We could not have done it without Colorado Housing Finance Authority and Enterprise Community Partners. And certainly with OED, I believe through our general fund as well, we have some $2.3 million in this project. And so this furthers our commitment to bring in affordable housing all over the city of Denver. And the fact that you're in the heart of downtown where people believe it could not be done is truly phenomenal. So this area is taking off. Not only do we have this great project, but we just opened up a new King Soopers just one block up on Chestnut, excuse me. Whole Foods is on the way. New job centers emerging like DaVita. I'm never gonna live that down with some people here in the audience. I just want you all to know that. And we just have an abundance of new housing. So I'm pretty excited about what's about to happen. Now, I left one person out, and that was intentional. An organization that I have come to really respect and appreciate. This is just their type of project all over the country. They've done over $1 billion worth of projects, and they very much want to be a part of the values and the DNA of a community. And if affordable housing is what we desire and need, they are there to say we can be your partner. The chairman and CEO at Integral is here, and I want you to help give a mile-high welcome and thank you to the leader of Integral Group, Eggert Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your faith and confidence in us. We won't let you down. And I do want to say a couple of things. I was told that I have 3 minutes, so I'll try and respect that. But I want to pay a special tribute.
Here. Why don't you keep that?
Keep it?
Yeah,
okay. There's a slight height difference between us, Mr. Mayor. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm actually thrilled for us to be an integral part of this project. I hope you guys are supposed to laugh. I thought about that all day on the flight out, and you broke my heart. But I want you to know this is not our first time doing a very important and significant project in Denver. And I have to take a short trip down memory lane, very, very short. In 1997, I received a phone call from then Mayor Wellington Webb and Sal Carpio to come to Denver and write an application for a Hope 6 project that we won the grant from HUD and created the first mixed income development in Denver called the Villages at Curtis Park. That followed having done that a year earlier in Atlanta, and created the very first mixed income development ever done anywhere in the country. We have been partners with Denver since then. Denver Housing Authority, City of Denver, and the Colorado Housing Finance Agency. Without each and every one of them, we would not be here today, just as we would not have been there 18 years ago when the very first mixed income development was ushered in the city of Denver. And I have to step out of protocol here and acknowledge Stella Madrid was one of the very first people we worked with way back when at the Housing Authority. So we have a long history. I appreciate having had the chance to be here over those years. And today, looking back, not only are we doing this project today, but after the Villages at Curtis Park, we worked with the mayor's team, Paul Washington's office, in getting Denver Enterprise Center done. And we are currently developing Aviva Cherokee over in the Golden Triangle, which is a 20-story high-rise market rate residential. We're committed to Denver. The Housing Authority paid us back by stealing our development director, Chris Parr, who led the city's efforts in the Housing Authority for a number of years. I want to get off the mic, but I want to recognize a couple of people, because behind everybody that takes the stage, I'm no exception there, there's always somebody behind that's really making it happen and allow me to stand up here and act as if I really am doing this stuff. And the person that stands behind me is Vicki Lundy Wilbon. She is the president of our community development operation. We work in about a dozen cities across the country, and that entire operation is hers. She runs it and has been running it for the better part of 16 years. So, Vicki, I ask you to come up, but Mr. Mayor, you're gonna have to take my apology, because I'm saying the same about you. You're in front, but there's a Paul Washington behind that actually makes it happen.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you. Okay. There's a Diane Barrett that we owe a tremendous amount to, and the two council members, Albus and Kanish, that stirred the pot and caused the energy around pressing this project forward. So thank you all very much for giving me the chance to stand in front of you. And Vicki, come on up. This lady runs our operation and does it as well as anybody could. And so I'm just thrilled to have her on my team. Vicki.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to stand before you. Is that okay? To celebrate the groundbreaking of this important and impactful project. This groundbreaking is the culmination of years of dedication, tenacity, perseverance, and visionary leadership. And we're thankful to Mayor Hancock, to the administration, and to a number of people that I know we get in trouble by calling names, but there are some names that at this moment I will lift up, because there's been a teamwork that has been phenomenal here. I've heard it said that in a campaign or a fundraising, friend-raising event, that any money speaks, all money talks. But the first money and early money really screams. And as Egbert mentioned earlier, the city OED stepped up very early and made some commitments and loans that allowed us to secure this site to make sure that affordable housing, workforce housing, was here in Denver Union Station. So I applaud the team for all of that hard work. A few facts about the development that you've already heard, but there are 107 units with affordability level. 75% of those units will be affordable to families and individuals earning 40 to 60% of area median income. That is outstanding when you're in a place, standing in a place, living, working, and playing in a community like Union Station. This development has been designed by RNL. It's a beautiful development that will fit perfectly and complement what's here. Being built by our general contractor, ICOTA, has wonderful units, but also some outstanding amenities, including some new and upcoming amenities like bike repair stations, which are important to the new population and getting people out of cars and into bikes, but also rooftop terrace. So we are very excited about this. But today is also my delight to really mention and lift up the names of some of those individuals that worked so hard to make this happen. A number of names have already been mentioned from the city of Denver, but again, Mayor Hancock, I thank you, Paul Washington, Rick Padilla. I call out names because they made this happen. We have the city council people that stand to my left, Brooks and Kanish, that's some of that early work that is paying dividends and bearing fruit today. Diane Baird's name has been mentioned, and I mentioned also Brad Buchanan. Edward mentioned our history with DHA. It's long-standing, it's deep, and we started this development partnering with them, and it has grown into now we're partnering in a way that has DHA as our co-development partner in the general partnership, so they are inherent and integral to what we are doing here. So I thank you, and I raise the name of Ishmael Guerrero, Ryan Tobin, and Jim Napalo. We have a number of financing partners. Some of those are local, so I'll mention the state partners that we have. First of all, the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, the Division of Housing. We work with Allison George, Bill Simpson, Elisa Wilson. They have all been outstanding in helping us get those states' funds secured. And last but not least, the Colorado Department of Housing and the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, CHAFA. I'm so used to saying CHAFA that it just stumped me for a moment. But Denise Tomulis has been outstanding, and Tasha, and I don't know if Tasha's here today, I have not seen her, but outstanding, Tasha Weaver. So I thank you. We have construction financing coming from Stearns Bank. We have permanent financing with Boston Capital. We have our tax credit equity coming from Enterprise, and Brian Windley has been exceptional, as well as James Mosdale and his group. So it is my distinct honor to be here, and I look forward to standing before you again in the future as we talk about other milestones that we reach. And we are one day standing in front of a building, cutting a ribbon for the grand opening. I thank you all for braving the cold to be here today. God bless you. At this time, I'm going to invite up Councilman Brooks, who has this in his district and most of North Denver. And this is kind of the cultural and the business engine of the city of Denver. So thanks again, and we are excited about doing this work with the city and work in the future with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know you guys are cold, but think about this. We are getting an affordable housing project in one of the most expensive places in our city. And if we can do it here, we can do it all over the city. We, as City Council, myself, Albus Brooks, and Robin Kanish, want to let you know we are bullish on affordable housing throughout the city. So is the mayor's administration, and so is the private sector. And so we want to make this a reality. I want to thank some folks that don't get thanked a lot. The facility management crew over here that puts up this equipment in rain, sleet, or snow. Thank you guys for putting this together. We love y'all. But I really inherited this project. I've been the councilman of this district for 6 months, and my colleague was actually on the forefront working the complex deals and the financing to make this possible. And I'd love to bring her up, and she's my partner in crime for affordable housing all over this city, and I love working with her and her expertise in affordable housing. Please give it up for Councilwoman Robin Knich.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Elvis. And the mayor, all three of us really are partnering on housing. And this project really brings to fruition a community vision that began more than 10 years ago. And it also demonstrates a watershed in city policy. So briefly, if you'll go back with me, 10 years ago, we had passed fast tracks, and the government agencies that owned and partnered on Union Station were trying to figure out what this redevelopment was going to look like. There was a coalition of community residents, neighborhood organizations, labor unions, construction workers working together to say that this site, if we're going to invest $500 million, it was important that that investment benefit all kinds of people. So workers and low-income individuals, as well as the folks that we know can afford beautiful condos and expensive properties. That coalition was asking for this development to include affordable housing, and I was the staff member at a nonprofit that staffed that coalition called FRES, Good Jobs, Strong Communities, a professional troublemaker, if you will. So we started a conversation with the city and with the developers who were chosen, East-West Partners and Continuum Partners, and we said, please, can we find a spot for affordable housing on this site? And we had some negotiations, and we went back and forth, and we looked at various parcels. A couple times we thought we'd saved a parcel for housing. There was going to be a parking garage, and we thought could maybe do the housing on top of that, but then the garage didn't get built. There was a spot we thought we could build it, but then the train design changed. And so again and again, we landed on dead ends and brick walls. At that point, I got appointed to the Denver Union Station Project Authority. I think the city had a theory that if they brought me into the room, I would be less troublesome than outside the room. Probably effective, I would say. But I was a member of the Union Station Authority, and the conversation continued. And then Mayor Hickenlooper was very reluctant because he thought this is very expensive land, and maybe we shouldn't put affordable housing on land that was this expensive. And that was a reasonable concern, right? Because this is public money, and you want to be frugal and you want to be efficient with your money. But we have a value in this city for mixed income communities. We can't just put all people of one income in one neighborhood, right? It's not good for them and it's not good for neighborhoods. We know that mixed incomes are important. So this is a true story. I had a luncheon with the HUD director, Sean Donovan, and I asked him if he would talk to Mayor Hickenlooper about the value of affordable housing at Union Station. And he did. And it was the one and only phone call I ever got at home from then Mayor Hickenlooper to say that Sean Donovan had had a conversation with him and he thought I had something to do with it. Still, we couldn't get it done until East-West Partners, and I don't know if they're here today, but Amy Cara came through and they were doing a Metropolitan District update, and they had built much affordable housing in this area, as they had committed to do when all the things around us were built. But there was one piece of market rate housing that had continued to excel while the level of affordability had stayed the same. And I said to Amy, please, is there one piece of land we can think about? And she said, well, there's this one parcel. It's kind of odd shaped, and we're having a hard time figuring out what to do with it. I don't think it'll work. And I said, would you try? All I'm asking is, would you have a conversation? That's this parcel, and that's the conversation. So East-West Partners committed, and they have been a patient landowner as all of these financing and pieces have gotten put together. So we need to give our thanks to East-West Partners. And then Chris Parr, I said, would you do me a favor? His boss didn't know about it, by the way. I just said, please, could you do a favor for me and see if you could find someone to talk to them about it? And so a lot of community organizing. And this is what this project is about, I think, in the watershed for the city, is the idea that it's important to have mixed income communities throughout our city. There aren't some neighborhoods where affordable housing belongs. Affordable housing needs to be a part of all of our neighborhoods. And so that's the watershed this represents. And it's important because that clerk at Safeway and Supers will be able to afford housing here. The server over at the kitchen next door will be able to afford to live in this building. The person who drives the bus on that 16th Street Mall shuttle, that's what this housing is about. That's why we all partner so closely. And these are the folks who are going to benefit from the hard work of all the folks up here today. So thank you and congratulations. And I'd like to now introduce the boss of Chris Parr, who eventually found out what his employee was up to and got involved. Thank you, Ishmael.
Thank you. Ismael Guerrero again from DHA, and when it's your last on the program and it's 20 degrees, you don't have to be told to keep it brief. And you've already heard the story here. I just wanted to say really congratulations to Egbert, to Vicky, to the Integral team. As you heard, we've been partners with them since the late 90s. When we started our collaboration in Curtis Park, it was a very different situation. We were coming in as a catalyst, really reviving a neighborhood that had not had a lot of investment. We did fantastic work there together, preserving public housing, creating more affordable housing, and adding market rate. And now, if you know the Curtis Park neighborhood, it's really thriving as a great neighborhood. Here we're coming in to add to the diversity of affordability and the housing stock here in the Union Station neighborhood. And we're excited to be partnering with them on that. This is something that at DHA we're excited to be doing throughout the city, creating diverse mixed income communities. And a couple of people to thank for that. First of all, you've heard about Chris, legendary in Denver, and really we're thankful for all the work he's done, not just within DHA, but he's really an advocate for and helps to build affordable housing throughout the city. I want to call out Ryan Tobin as well, our new director of the real estate department, who really in the last several months, half year, worked hard with Integral to get the deal done on our end, and we're excited to be participating. And then Trini Rodriguez is here, one of our commissioners at DHA, who had the vision and the trust in the Housing Authority staff to take on this kind of partnership, again, things that we do around the city. So once again, congratulations to everybody. We're excited to be a partner with you again. Thank you.